Good morning, this is Deborah Matthews, Vicar of Verwood. During last week, I was writing my Vicar's report for our annual parochial church meeting for the year 2020. And I was also writing the message for the Front of Angels and Saints, which is our monthly newsletter. Well, the APCM report was looking back to the year 2020, and the article was looking forward to the month ahead. But as I prepared for both the report and the article, I discerned in both of them the process of waiting for the right time. I was actually finding it hard to remember the details of last year's timetable. The whole year already seems to be a bit of a blur. So to remind me of the sequence of events in 2020, I looked up the dates of the national and the local lockdowns and of the ever-changing regulations which had in particular affected us as a church. I was struck again by how difficult it has been, constantly adapting to the changing regulations. We have all talked about this so much that it seems improbable that I can add anything else. But reviewing this information turned out not to be the academic exercise which I had expected. Seeing those dates laid out in front of me touched me in a way that I hadn't expected. And I believe that many of us are still dealing with feelings of loss and anxiety, and we will be for some time. Some of us, hearing the good news on vaccine uptake and the massive decrease in COVID numbers, are eager to move on and get back to doing all the things we enjoy the most. But others of us will be very aware of the risks we still face and are not ready yet to return to any semblance of normal life. We only have to look at the world news to see how quickly situations can deteriorate. Our prayers for recovery are now very much with the people of India. As we look forward, we can see that it is vital to take things slowly. It's great to see measures in place which allow young people to attend huge functions and dance together without masks or social distancing, and also to allow much larger crowds into sports events. But this is part of a gradual opening up, a trial to see what will happen. It is not a signal for us to think that we have conquered the virus. We have to wait for each next step to be safe and to be cautious about rushing into the next phase too early. And so we are in that in-between stage, waiting to discover whether the government and the scientists decide that relaxing restrictions later in May and then again in June is an acceptable risk. And then we can begin to make plans for the summer. We are still in the Easter period, and in the last few weeks have been hearing about how the disciples deal with the good news of Jesus' resurrection. Some of them believe the good news immediately, and others need reassurance. Like Thomas, who wanted proof that the other disciples had actually seen Jesus. And then other disciples gradually came to the realization of what had happened, and they in turn met Jesus when they were ready. And just like Jesus' disciples, we deal with news, whether good or bad, in our own time and in our own way. We have to feel it for ourselves, whatever the data tells us or whatever we read. Even though we may be in a hurry to reclaim our freedoms, we must wait a little bit longer and perhaps take time to reflect upon the full enormity of the situation which we have been through. Time can't be hurried, but with patience and prayer, we can look forward and be joyful as we plan to take the next steps on the journey to our own recovery. I hope you have a good week, and despite the predicted weather forecast, I hope you enjoy watching the gardens, enjoy the rain. God bless you.